All right, welcome back, kings and queens, y'all. We are talking the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The body cam footage has been released of Porsha Williams regarding the in-flight incident that took place on Sunday as Porsha was headed back from BravoCon flight from Las Vegas, Nevada to Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, now the police spoke to both Porsha and the lady who got into a verbal spat on the aircraft. We're going to show the body cam footage. Portia's going to explain her side, and then the Karen, whom people have deemed a Karen, is going to explain her side. The officers were able to obtain victim and witness statements and forwarded them to the FBI. Now, at this point, I have a question. Who is the victim? Because if it was a verbal spat between two people, how do we identify the victim? In my previous commentary, I called out the fact that there was a bias that I noticed, and I'm not going to call biases subconscious because we're in a conscious world now. People do what they do when they want to do it. So it was a conscious bias when the initial report was leaked. Porsha was somehow implicated as the aggressor, okay, in the headlines. Although they didn't deem her the aggressor, the way the media outlets wrote the caption, you would automatically assume that Porsha was in the wrong. I believe partially due to her history with physical violence. The lady on the flight is accusing Porsha of punching her in the face, okay? According to authorities, crew members were able to separate both parties and continued on without incident. Upon arrival in Atlanta, Georgia, the officers made contact with both of them separately. Let's talk about it. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
Let me say this really quickly before we get into the thick of it. Portia's 44 years old, okay? Porsha, I don't want you getting into any more disputes. I need you to shift and transition to your soft girl era. That's it. That's all. The police were able to confirm that the incident between Porsha, who's 44 at a particular age, I don't care if you're, Porsha, you have too much going on for you not to be able to de-escalate, okay? I just don't like to see successful, beautiful women get into these back and forth disputes with these people that you don't care about, these people who are not going to matter a year from now. But anywho, according to the cops, they say it turned violent as the flight was headed home to Atlanta. Okay, what constitutes violence? And according to the article, the U.S. Sun, the cops responded at around 9:20 for a call. Porsha was on her phone, allegedly. Porsha was on the phone. She had the phone on speakerphone, and the lady did not like it. Let's take a look.
Hey, how are you doing, ma'am?
I'm not very good, sir. And you?
Good. I'm Officer Brumant. I work with the Atlanta Police Department.
Great.
So I heard about the incident that happened, but I haven't heard your side of the story.
Why didn't we hear my side of the story first, sir?
Well, I had another officer.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay, ma'am. Now you are coming in with a little bit of privilege where you feel like whites first. It's giving whites only. This is my water fountain. How come you didn't get me first? I don't know if I would have started off in that capacity with an officer. They're just getting both of your sides. So that was a wrong way to start. Let's continue.
Spoke to you, but I just want to hear it
and do you
personally.
think it's proper to me tell you the whole story where everybody's sitting around here, they can all hear it?
No, ma'am. If you want to be private,
I think we should be private,
Okay.
sir. This is an assault
okay.
matter.
You want to come?
Yes, sir. I'm going to agree with her. You should have said, may I talk to you in private? Let's go.
Yes.
What do you want to? Yes, ma'am. Where do you want to stand up?
Anywhere that's just room for people.
Okay, you want to go over here?
Is there no office? Is there nothing legitimate here?
No, there's no office.
There's no office.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Okay, fine. What do you want to know? The whole story?
What's your phone number? First of all, where did the incident happen?
I was sitting in my seat
Where?
in Delta Airlines, seat number 3A, or B, I believe.
This happened in Las Vegas?
Yes, sir.
While the plane was still boarding?
No.
The plane was in the air?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was taking off. That's why the flight attendants couldn't come help me from her beating, because they had to be buckled in.
Okay, so what happened?
Before I say anything, I want to know, is my information...
Now, she said this happened during the initial climb. She said Porsche beat her as the flight was taking off, and the flight attendants were not able to provide assistance because that's a critical phase of flight. And even the flight attendants are not able to come out of their seats until they reach 30,000 feet.
Going to be given to the woman who assaulted me?
No, ma'am.
Because I'm afraid for my life.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
It's not.
I was sitting in my seat. She was the last passenger to come on board. So when she came on board, Atlanta, Georgia, she said, I'm in that seat. I said, no problem. I jumped up, got far away from her so she had plenty of room. She had to put stuff in the upstairs thing. I understand that. Took plenty of time. Sit back down. We never spoke other than that. And after about 25 minutes of her on Instagram, full blast.
I'm going to call Cap. If it's a full flight, I think her time, we don't want to be too petty, but listen, you said she was the last person to board the flight and you had to listen to it for 25 minutes. You know what? Never mind. That could be true. Never mind.
Every time she would flip, because apparently it was from a loud place, I jumped because it was so loud. And she was...
Y'all, this lady is a character. Now, Porsche, you were wrong off grip for playing your device on speakerphone. I would have been somewhat bothered too if I had spent thousands of dollars in my first class seat and all I want to do is have my champagne, plug my AirPods in my ear, and proceed to play my games. I should not be forced to have to listen to your phone on speakerphone if I want to sleep, if I want to journal, because we all paid a pretty penny to be here. So I'm gonna have to ride with her so far on this part.
So I waited 25 minutes, give her time, let her do whatever she needed to do. And then I said, am I going to have to listen to that the whole time?
Now, the lady was already irritated because it sounds like Porsche came at the last minute. The lady may have been comfortable, probably didn't think she was going to have to share that seat with anybody else and just sit back, relax, and enjoy her flight. She said she made it a point to jump every time Porsche scrolled. At this point, it indicates to me that this woman was watching Porsche very carefully and had become increasingly irritated by Porsche. Okay.
And she said, do you like it? And I said, no. And she said, well, I don't like the way you asked me.
Okay, you could have asked better. But Porsche, you were wrong to start off with. Ma'am, you probably could have said, ma'am, do you mind putting your AirPods on? But I also get it. Why do I have to ask you to put your AirPods on when you understand we're in first class? Why are you playing it anyway? Why is it the burden on me? So let's continue.
I said, don't put this on me. And the next thing I know, there was a fingernail so close to my eye that I thought I was going to be physically attacked.
Now, that is giving Atlanta Housewives, Porsche. She don't know you from Adam. And what she described is Atlanta Housewives all day, pointing your finger in somebody's face. Listen, she might be telling the truth on you pointing your finger. Let's continue.
She had her, I don't want to do it to you, sir. She had her hands in my face, screaming, calling me crazy. On and on.
Now, what did you say to her, ma'am?
And on. So now the flight attendants can't come help me because they're strapped in for this takeoff. My phone is sitting against my leg on my lap. So I take it to video to try and protect myself. And as soon as I go like this, she takes her hand and goes like that and throws my phone.
So she may have, it sounds like you were trying to put your phone in her face and she moved it. Now, to the degree that she moved it, let's continue.
And everybody sees the phone go down the end of the whole airplane. And the flight attendant told me he saw her knock it out of my hand. And that's assault. And so I'm 70 years old.
So she actually knocked the phone off your hand?
You're right, she did.
Okay.
She probably did if you put it in her face. It's giving Porsche.
I didn't drop it.
All right. All right.
Here's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid she's going to have me killed.
Nah, Karen. Okay.
So can you do me a favor? Can you write me a statement of what happened?
I certainly can. I have it written down in my phone.
Can you just jot it down on this bit of paper? You want to sit somewhere private over here? So what happened?
All right, here's Porsha's part.
So the lady who was sitting next to me, I was on my phone, and the volume was up on the phone. And she turned to me out of nowhere, and she said, "So you're gonna make me listen to that the whole flight?" And I said, "Well, do you want to?" And she said, "No."
So far, they both are telling the same story.
And I
She
said,
will make you listen to what?
"Am I gonna make her listen to my phone?"
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I said, "This is before we took off." Yes, even before we took off.
So you guys were in Las Vegas when that happened?
Yes. Yeah.
The plane was on the ground?
Yes.
The door was shut? It was, okay.
No, the door wasn't shut. People were still boarding.
People were still boarding?
Okay, so now this is where it gets into this is where the officer is going to have to use his experience to determine who's telling the truth. At first, they both had similar stories. Now this is where it gets the details are kind of questionable. The white woman says we had already taken off. We were in a critical phase of the flight, and nobody could come to rescue me. Porsha said, no, we were still on the ground. The door was still open. Initially, when I said, you know what, I don't believe that. When a woman said, I listened 25 minutes, and I said, I don't believe that because, and then I said, I'm going to let it go. I felt like they were still boarding. I do. So let's continue.
Okay. Okay, I couldn't tell.
Okay.
So she was like, are you gonna make me listen to that the whole time? I said, well, do you want to? And she said, no. I said, well, it was a nicer way to say that. And she said, you don't tell me.
Oh, that's the part that Karen didn't give us. She told Porsha, F you. From there, it escalated. But the nice white lady, left off the part where she was the aggressor in the verbal back and forth.
And I was like, are you okay? I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just telling him what happened.
I'm so sorry.
And so it's all
if there's anything I can do to help you.
You were sitting there.
Girl, this is your ram in a bush, Porsha. The fact that these women are coming and saying, oh my God, are you okay? That's all we need.
I was.
Yeah, I was just telling
I was there, and I heard it was unreprehensible. The woman got in your face and gave you the middle finger.
Yeah.
And was doing things that were completely chaotic
She was.
Child, according to the other white woman, the white woman was the aggressor all up in Porsha's face. She was the one pointing her finger, telling Porsha to F off and F you and this and this and that. She didn't want a black woman seated next to her. Let's continue.
She starts
I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
That's why I'm asking if you're okay.
Yes, no, I
wouldn't
appreciate
be.
it.
I wouldn't be okay.
I mean, I don't know what she's claiming. She's gonna press charge saying that I hit her. I'm like, I did not hit you.
I mean, you want to continue? You want to continue, ma'am?
Sorry.
Can you excuse me?
Okay. Can I get your information?
Sir, you got everything you need. You just had a witness that came off and said, I'm embarrassed as a white woman. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed on the behalf of my people. I would not be okay. Porsha, you better take notes.
Can you get her information as a witness?
Sure.
Yeah, please. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I was sitting 2 rows back. She did not touch
No,
me.
that's what I'm saying.
You saw everything that happened?
Yes. The guy had a seat.
Listen, you see how he listened to the man and not the woman? The psychology of it all. That's why men are so important. But let's continue.
Reclined before the flight even took off, and I saw the entire gap. She did not touch
You
me.
didn't touch her.
She's screaming. You hit me in my face.
I can tell you.
I
She did not. I could see her.
I can write my info down if you want.
Say,
Okay.
she didn't do anything wrong. She did.
What's your phone number?
It's yes, sir.
You have an ID?
Yeah.
Here's my ID. I also witnessed nothing happened.
They need.
Sorry, I don't always. I have laryngitis. My family.
Now, all right, girl. Miss White Lady, you done enough. You got your 5 minutes of fame. You just give them your name and move on.
You didn't touch her. Whenever she started saying, I was like,
I'm like, no.
thank you.
What happened?
My name
You
is.
saw anything happen?
My name is. I never saw her.
Okay, White Lady, can you move? He's asking the man what happened, and you all up in the camera like P. Diddy.
Activate any situation to create a situation on board.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Nothing.
So you didn't see anything physical?
Nothing. No, I was only a couple rows back from the first class. I could see it. Nothing happened.
What's your phone number?
I think this was a really embarrassing incident for some of
Ma'am,
us.
go
You
ahead.
can't raise that much ruckus if you want to sneak off the flight.
No, you don't do that.
You're sober now or whatever.
I am marveling at the psychology of what's happening here. I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. I can say a lot, but I'm not going to say a lot. But it's, man, I want to say a lot in this moment, but I'm going to hold my peace.
You say you saw what happened?
Yeah, so basically, the dude in front of me had his seat reclined before the takeoff and everything like that. I was.
Oh, see? Yeah. I was just getting more information.
Basically, there was no physical altercation. There was verbal, commentary kind of thing that was at a normal level, and then out of nowhere, it escalated in the sense of the lady to the right of her got really animated and started screaming. About the only physical thing she did was point at her, and for some reason that just escalated the war.
Okay, so we are established that there was pointing after the lady started yelling. Sounds like Porsha was in the window seat and the lady was in the aisle.
And to this point where all she was saying, don't talk to me like that.
This is them having to restrain her.
Yeah.
They're literally holding her.
Yeah.
We saw this on the flight. We couldn't get off the plane because this was going on.
Both of the
Now, the white woman is a liar. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Ma'am, you said you were in a critical phase of flight. Nobody could come to your rescue, only for Porsha to produce the digital receipts that you were being restrained on the aircraft, which establishes that you lied. The aircraft was indeed on the ground and the door was still open. Why is this important? Credibility.
both of them are restraining her.
Okay. Thank you for you guys' information.
All she
I'm going
did
to
was
talk to
ask her not to be spoken to like that.
Yeah, she just was.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I have the phone number now. Yeah.
Yeah, mine too. She just wanted respect. Thank you.
Okay, girl, you need to go on. You're not the star of the show, but anywho.
So you were saying you were using your phone. It was loud.
Yes.
And she complained about the louder.
She asked me. Thank you so much. She so the music, the Instagram was on, and she told me, "Am I gonna have to listen to that?" And I said, "Well, do you want to?" And she said, "No." I said, "Okay." And then I said, "Well, there was a nicer way you could have said that, And then she says, "What?" She's like, "You don't talk to me." And I was like, "Are you okay?" From that point on, she said, "Who the do you think you are?" And so I said, "Oh, no. I said, y'all need to get her out of here. Please get her away from me." And so then when she tried to take her phone record, and she drops her phone on the floor. She's like, "You hit me. Oh my God. You hit me. You just hit me in my face. Oh my God. I'm pressing charges. I want you to be in jail." And I'm like, what's happening? So the steward.
So her phone dropped on the floor. You didn't slap the phone from her hand.
No.
Okay.
So then the steward comes over, and then the steward says to me, because I say, "Get your ugly ass out of here," because then I'm upset. Then the stewardess says to me, "You're an adult. You can't. You're an adult. You can't be cursing like that." No, and I said, "Why are you chastising me? Like, this woman is the one going crazy." So then they end up making her move to the next chair with the guy. But she was irate, so they were trying to hold her because she didn't want to move. It was like she wanted to move but didn't want to move. So
she wanted to establish dominance. I was here first. I'm white. I'm not moving. I will not, even if I'm in danger. And she said she felt like Porsha's going to have her killed. Why would you want to be seated next to somebody that's going to have you offed?
As you can see, they had to pull
She was at the window, or she was at the end?
So she was in the row.
In the aisle.
I'm sorry.
She was in the aisle. And where were you? You were in the middle?
I'm at the door in first class. It's only 2 seats.
Only 2 seats. Oh, you are at the window. And she's at the aisle.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're telling me there was nothing physical?
No.
It was just verbal?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, how are you doing?
All right. That's it. That's all. Let's take it to the chat.